This is Wario Land 2 for the Game Boy Color. So, the sequel to what was originally still just a Mario spin-off, Wario is now in his own proper series with Wario Land 2, no Mario Land subtitle to be found. So this game, of course, works a bit differently than the first game did, now that Wario's kinda got his own identity. And it also starts where, maybe not where the previous game left off, but we can see the fruits of our labor from last time. That's the big ol' castle that Wario wished for himself. However, these very large men, if the scale is anything to go by, are here, they're shadowy, they're mysterious, and they're up to no good. The birds are fine, however. Thank you, small pixel birds. At least we have you in these trying times. Oh, and what's this? A gigantic clock with what looks like a sword in its head? It's an alarm clock. Those dastards. Their evil knows no bounds. Oh, that sound is awful and I hate it. However, setting an alarm was the worst possible choice they could have made. Wario can't be allowed to wake up. Okay, I'm not gonna press anything. I can't press anything. Alright, we got this. We're just gonna leave Wario here. There we go. Victory. Okay, we're back with Wario Land 2, but hopefully, well, one way or the other, this is the end. Okay, we did it. Wario's asleep. He's not calling a cab, not having a smoke, not taking a drag. He just slept through his alarm, like we all want to do. And since he took so long, the Black Sugar Pirates just decide to pick him up and throw him out of the house, which apparently took all day because this game does start in the morning, and now it's night. Unfortunately, however, it looks as though Wario is awake. Oh, why'd you have that underneath? Maybe the genie just kept it there. He knew this would happen. Alright, Chapter 2, Invade Wario Castle. I guess we're still doing this. Well then, unfortunately that didn't stop Wario either. I'm also kinda disappointed in that, but I'll just keep going. Look, at this point, all I have is just the fact that the Wario sync meter is just back down to 0% at this point. This is a clean slate. It's remained, and I mean, it was supposed to prevent this sort of thing from happening, but I guess it's the reason I can remember everything that happened before, so I'll take what I can get. I just don't know if I can really think of anything to do against somebody invincible in that amount of time. In the meantime, though, let's not worry about that. Let's worry about the level. So, Invade Wario Castle is definitely a very cool final area, and unlike the other Chapter 2, this is actually a finale. It doesn't lead into a different storyline. It's weird that there is precisely one optional path in this game that, like, leads back into the main game. Well, okay, technically two. Ruins at the Bottom of the Sea does have— God damn, I'm getting a lot of silver coins. I think reality itself is starting to bend to Wario's will, so that's not great. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so like, Ruins at the Bottom of the Sea also has a way to reconnect to, like, the main game, the actual areas, but like, there's still an ending connected to it, though. So I don't think that quite counts as much. But anyway, yeah, Invade Wario Castle, though, is very fun. I like this as a final level. It's probably one of my favorites, even though it's kind of a retread of a few different world themes, but like, it's a cool concept. Though I'm not too fond of this part, but, you know, that's just an individual puzzle, not the entire level. So yeah, this is a pretty precise rolling section right here. You gotta jump just right, and make sure to destroy those blocks in front of that hole, because otherwise they'll just carry you past the point where you have to jump off of in order to actually get to that upper area without issue. But yeah, I do love that we start Invade Wario Castle outside of the castle. It's kind of a weird mirror to Syrup's Fortress, really. I mean, we started outside of Syrup's Fortress when we were there as well. There's an outside portion where we actually had to make it into the castle. But instead we have to break into our own house. And it's a cool concept. So yeah, I feel like... yeah, that's my main issue with the game, I think, is just... the alternate paths are really not my favorite levels in the game. Like, I wasn't the most fond of Maze Woods, but like... I would take Maze Woods over most of these alternate routes. Just, I don't know. I think the main game is actually really fun as part of the problem. Like, you've got the main game, that's got plenty of variety. There's a bunch of chapters with completely different themes, and even within those themes there can be different types of levels. One Noisy Morning does actually manage to change things up pretty well, despite all taking place in Wario's castle. Maze Woods is a little less variable, but like, that's fine. It still has gameplay differences, even though they don't look the most different in terms of background, and I mean, that's also kind of One Noisy Morning as well, so I can't be that disappointed. But yeah, SST Cup is good, In Town is good, and Syrup's Castle is good. I'm mostly fond of all of those chapters. I wasn't paying attention, but it's top right. Okay. Actually, I just remembered recording this, so I think I have to abstain from actually answering these, because I think I know the answer to most of them. Anyway, we got a pill. Oh, we've got two of you, so it's just a timing thing. We gotta kill one, back off, kill the next. But anyway, yeah, I think in terms of, like, the alternate paths I like, though, Uncanny Mansion had some, maybe slightly tedious levels, a little bit, but overall I think I like that one. But it was also a fairly unique theme. We didn't get Haunted Mansion levels anywhere else in the game. That was cool, I like that. But then you had Mysterious Factory, which was based on the factory stage, and also the building stage before it, but like, for the most part that was just one theme. Like, I guess some of these areas do just sort of like, kinda build off of other chapters, but I don't know. Not in a way that I think is satisfying or interesting. Like, the factory stage was fine in of itself, but it was also fine because it was only one stage and we didn't linger on it. But then here comes Mysterious Factory, and now we're lingering on it. It was precisely what I didn't want, and yet they gave it to me. Anyway though, yeah, Mysterious Factory, what else was there? There was... I think after that was Ruins at the Bottom of the Sea, which looked cool, but the levels themselves were so tiring that I didn't care for it overall. Or maybe it was just that one level that I really didn't like that was so tiring, but then that just exhausted me on the rest of it, so ultimately I don't like Ruins at the Bottom of the Sea that much, which is a shame, because again, distinct and cool tile set that doesn't appear anywhere else in the game. It's a shame I don't like the things attached to it, or created by it, I guess. Alright, what's the number? I already know, but it's gonna go. It's gonna go, it's gonna go. It could be a 1783. There's a lot of things it could be. Alright, it's gotta be an 8 or a 3. Well, okay, 0's also a possibility. 0's still a possibility. 0's still a possibility, but guess what? It was 8. And yeah, if the entire panel gets filled out, the game just automatically starts you hovering over the number you need, so you can just press A and win. It's basically just, if you pay enough money, you just auto-win. But I don't want to pay that much money. I did genuinely want to beat that minigame earlier, but no, it decided to just not reveal the middle bit until the very end. And maybe I haven't been paying enough attention. Maybe there is a distinction between the 8 and the 3, or the 8, why do I keep saying 3? 8 and the 0 that I didn't notice, but like, they look pretty much identical. I guess maybe if I looked a little closer I could have told what it was sooner, but without that middle bit, I am nothing. I cannot figure it out. It's a mystery to me. Alright, now we're actually breaking into the castle. And boy, this is a sight we haven't seen in a bit. It's almost kinda comforting in a way, having this tile set again. Been a while since we've seen Wario's castle. Also, I have to know, did they like darken the window pane color? I don't think it is, but like, for some reason my lizard brain is just saying, oh yeah, this is just the castle, but at night, but like, what is obvious about that? I don't think they changed anything. Like, the background outside is night, so I think it is just my dumb lizard brain being like, oh yeah, it's night outside, therefore you know that when you're inside it also feels darker. But that's not necessarily true. I don't think that's true at all. I think it's the same lighting as the start of the game. I think that, light and dark both look, just about the same in Wario Castle. But I just look at this interior and I'm like, yep, that's night. I just have this gut feeling. Alright, this is one of those puzzles where we need to double bounce. Bounce off of one man with another man in hand. Throw the other man, bounce off him, and then you can get all of the treasure. Now it's just a shame we can't stack enemies in this game, or you would better believe there would be a 3 jump. Gotta jump off 3 different enemies to get all the way up here. Alright, so we've crossed the moats, and now we are finally in Wario's castle proper. And not just a side room, we've got our foot in the door. And we are ready to murder. Alright, now we got some blind jumps here. Now, you can of course see those large coins before you get to those jumps, but yeah, you don't know what you have picked up and what you've missed unless you actively jump and either hear or don't hear something. Oh, we've got a tough little rolling segment here. We actually have to jump over the hurdle. Very difficult. It's not difficult, it's actually really fine. Nothing hard about that one. Alright, we also want to jump down here. More coins. We'll do this and then we'll do the platforming challenge. Does this have blind jumps? I seem to remember blind jumps somewhere in this castle, but I could be misremembering, because I can see this platform, that's not a problem. And yeah, it zooms in. Okay. Either I'm thinking of something else in this chapter, or just conflating this with an entirely different game. I feel like there's a blind jump at some point, though. You know, I will also say, Invade Wario Castle does not have some of my favorite fire platforming. This one can be kinda tricky. Alright, set me on fire here. And now we have to actively make the jump here. Bit of platforming, but mostly it's just an annoying setup. If you're some sort of weirdo who can actively memorize, like, the distance Wario travels before he turns into a pile of flames, then good on you, I can't do that. God, another silver coin. So, for me, actually setting up the timing for being set on fire is very tricky, because you do need to be in the right direction, facing the right direction, in order to actually do this on time. Boy, I really threaded the needle there. Bonk. Alright, that's done. For now. I feel like there's more fire in this stage. Or at the very least in the chapter. Alright, could you quit that for a sec? I'm trying to get some coins. Look, it's a matter of world importance. You are dooming us all if you don't let me into the coin cache. I can't promise I'll get a perfect sync, but I don't think that does anything. Alright, what's in here? I don't remember this room. I will say, I do really like the setup and aesthetic of the stage, but I'm not recalling a lot of the level design in this one. Oh, that's right, this one's rude. This one's very rude. It tries to drop you in your own home. Alright, avoid you, and... we don't want to get crushed yet, because there are a few areas where we need to smash our way in. Okay, I remember this section at least. I think this'll be a stage that, like, comes back to me, or a chapter that comes back to me over time. Because I remember this outdoor area portion. If only because... having to get all of these well, I don't have to get all the coins, but... getting all these coins is certainly a process. As it typically is with Flat Wario, he's not really reliable for mid-air coin collecting. I mean, we need him for situations like this, but... that doesn't mean he's good at these situations. Oh boy. Well, okay, look. I really hope I'm not dooming a timeline, but like... I can't be expected to go back for those, right? Those or that coin. Does that count as 1 or 2 marks against me? I don't know. Anyway though, here's our goal over here. God, I hate that sound effect when you're walking as Flat Wario, it's so annoying. Alright, so unflat me. What do we have in here? We've got the minigame. Alright, so where is it? I'm pretty sure it's top right. Now you might be thinking, why would you say that? The panel hasn't even been revealed yet. I'm pretty sure it's top right. Yep, top right. So yeah, I remember this one because it's just all top right all the time. It's a little maddening in a way. Oh hey, second orb. As if we needed a second orb. Actually? Wait. No, second orb is always bad. Second orb is always bad. Who would ever want a second orb? I mean, Wario does, for his collection. But again, he shouldn't combine it with the crystal or the other orb. That's just a bad practice in general. Anyway though, we're almost done with this stage. Here we go. Buddy, here we go, buddy, here we go, buddy, here we go. Alright, wow, I'm getting so many coins because of those silver coins. It's unfair how Wario keeps getting silver coins. He doesn't deserve them. He's a prick. Alright, so, what do we got? 3, 2, 1... What is it? Could be a lot of things. Could be a 0 or an 8. 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 Oh, what do you know? It was the second to last panel this time, and not the last one. Thanks, game. Real nice of you. We really haven't gotten that many 9s. You could be a 9 instead. Alright, and of course, it wouldn't be a chapter in Wario Land 2 past, like, Chapter 2 without a giant spearman. When they couldn't actually think of a level name, throw in a giant spearman. Now this stage is about defeating a giant spearman. Alright, now I definitely remember this stage. Here's a stage where I was really glad that I had a map, because this is a maze stage. And of course, this being Wario Land 2, you want to reach all of the dead ends before you actually, get to the ends. Now, I do have to wonder if the torches are a hint somehow, but I looked at them and I couldn't figure out an actual pattern between them, so I don't know, if there is a pattern, I'm not picking up on it. We've got 4 here in front of the treasure room. Yes, the treasure room is all the way over here, but if you're playing easy mode, then you're gonna need to gather a lot more coins on different paths first, unless of course you're like me and you keep getting stupidly lucky with the silver coins, in which case, I guess if you get a bunch of those top right? Still top right. I wasn't actually paying attention, I missed it, but I knew it was top right. But yeah, like... Yoshi egg? Oh, that's not good. You can't raise a Yoshi. Wario should not be allowed to raise anything. Least of all a Yoshi. Anyway, what was I saying before? I lost my train of thought completely. Oh yeah, like, if you manage to get a bunch of silver coins, then yeah, it's no problem. If you also get just absolutely, ludicrously lucky with silver coins, then like, yeah, it's fine. You can just do that immediately, but, thankfully, I don't do easy mode, because I didn't get that lucky in this stage, at least. In the other stages, sure, but not this one. But yeah, anyway, this is a maze stage, which means I don't particularly care for it. I did not really find much entertainment in the idea of doing a maze, and using a map didn't make it any better. It did, however, make it faster. Now let's see, this room has 2. This room has 2 torches, this one has 1 torch. Has 1 torch over. And 1 torch over here. Okay, I think actually thinking about it, they kinda designate, like, how far along in a door maze you are. Well, no, this is 3 torches, not 2 torches. Alright, well, I'm back to square one. This is why I did not remember this one. Did not remember seeing an actual pattern, because it just broke it immediately in my mind. Guess we have a 5 here, is that significant? Alright, let's bump you off. Not in the murder way, in the, I need you down here so I can go up their way. And one more time. And now, I'm going to bump you off in the murder way. I hope I didn't get your hopes up, but I did kill you in the end. Oh, this is a fun room. Welcome to the invisible block room. Hey, you know all those invisible blocks we haven't been dealing with ever? Well, now they're here. Thankfully, this segment is actually way easier than you might think. Like, just don't repeat the same path and you're fine. As long as you just take a fairly straightforward path, you won't wind up somewhere where you've already broken the blocks. 'Cause let me tell you, you won't know when you found one of those areas. It's invisible. Yeah, that is annoying and I don't know why that's there, but like many of the more annoying puzzles in this game, it doesn't really matter. This is a 6th one. I guess this is sort of a general recommended order, 'cause I think I went from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, maybe? I mean, there was backtracking involved, but mostly I went in torch number order, I think? This is why I couldn't find a pattern before. It's hard to pick up on if there are any. Alright, I will say, a tricky bit right there. Initially when I was going through this level, I tried to bust in from, well, this side of things. I should mention that, most of the maps for Wario Land 2 provided on VG Maps, were provided by one guy who actually showed where, like, the fake walls are. Invade Wario Castle did not, so... I did have one run where I just flubbed that, like, oh, where are the things I have to break here? And as it turns out, it's on the same side as the big coins, which are also very annoying to collect even after the fact. Alright, well, I guess Wario is going to raise a Yoshi. I feel like this is how Boshi is gonna come about. Is Boshi still in the new Super Mario RPG remake? I hope he is. Boshi stands for Bad Yoshi. Fun little fact for you there. Alright, what are ya? Could be a 0 or an 8, 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 could still be a 0 or an 8. Oh, what do you know? It's still an 8. But I wouldn't have known that now, would I? Prick. Now that we're at the end, the game just wants to fucking give me the impossible choice. Figure out if this is a 0 or an 8 without the middle bits, the defining portion between the 0 and the 8. Alright, Story 4, Go Through the Grand Hall. This is another chapter title, or story title, that really does not help in the slightest. I sort of remember this stage. I need to see some key things before I remember if I dislike this one or not, though. Again, I don't remember. Oh, this one. Okay, so this is an odd stage. Not a bad one. I enjoyed it, but definitely an odd one. So this is one of those stages where it provides you with a lot of shortcuts back to earlier parts of the stage, and none of them are particularly necessary. But they are there if you want them. You can take them if you'd like. I just don't know why you would. I don't know, I think it would just make me kind of paranoid about, like, where the treasure is, if I were to just go through the stage, unlock all the shortcuts, and be like, well, I'm this far ahead, but did I miss something? I don't know. You never know if you miss something. Oh, darn. Yeah, this is a series of tricky jumps. Can't really take that guy out ahead of time, because all the platforms fall. Ah, so many falling platforms. Yeah, that guy is just a dick, though. Like, you can kill him, but then you'll lose your foothold in one of the spots, and just have to redo that anyway. So I managed to get most of the things, without resetting the room, so that's good. I have to say, Wario, I thought your castle was a lot more linear back in Chapter 1, and you know, I feel like in a way that was almost more respectable. You had a mansion, but it didn't really feel like it had any wasted space. What the hell is this, though, Wario? Is this the Grand Hall that I'm in right now? Or is it just a big hallway? I can't tell. It could be anything. Alright, we can't kill that guy because we actually... Pardon me. We actually have some enemy blocks over here. Easy enough. What's this hall even for, Wario? What's the hall for, though? I don't know, I still haven't figured it out. Also, I'm guessing only one particular part of the house got flooded, because we have not fixed the giant faucet problem. We have not turned that around. And I don't think the Black Sugar Pirates care about Wario's water bill, so I don't think they turned that off. If anything, it's in their benefit to keep that on. You cannot kill Wario, but you can piss him off. Which actually, on saying that out loud, that sounds bad. But, you know, you can at least defy Wario by making him spend money. It's better than nothing. Alright, this room. Gotta be careful of the pelican, but other than that, it's kinda just free money. Just don't mess up killing these guys. Because every block here is breakable. But, look at the bright side, they're not invisible. And that makes a world of difference. Again, there was nothing difficult about the invisible block room. It's an easy room, but like, its existence annoys me. I don't like that it's like that. Alright, well, here's some flooded room, but like, there's no active current in here. Maybe the spear guys have just been grabbing bucketfuls of water, rushing into this room, and throwing them in. You know, just in case anybody gets lit on fire. But yeah, now that being said, the exit is right there. Unfortunately, we've got even more difficult fire puzzles that we don't need to do because here's the treasure. But look, I've got to try to be careful about the sync meter. Is this one also top right, or did the game break this habit by then? That was not top right. It was just kinda there. Alright, and we got one paintbrush. It will never be used, which is too bad because it looks like it was tipped with something. Which I guess, to be fair, it was left in a chest, so maybe it dried on anyway. I mean, you could clean that, but Wario's not going to, he's Wario. Anyway, the timing on this one is a real fucker. Yeah, like I said, the fire puzzles were kinda tedious, in, I think that was Story 2. And this one's just downright rude, especially since there's kind of an order of operations that you want to do that I extremely did not do, just due to the way I kept getting hits. Yeah, like, the guy who set me on fire earlier was kind of a pain. Thankfully, at least, Wario on fire can cross over, single block gaps. As long as you don't linger on him, you should be fine. Which is good, because, quite frankly, I was not fond of actually doing that. I didn't really time anything there well, and I didn't want to have to do it again, but I did manage to get over that single block gap. Hooray for small miracles. Alright, what are you this time? Are you a 0 or an 8? I need to know. Could be a 0 or an 8, could be a 0 or an 8. I mean, it could also be 1 or it's 7, thank god. You don't know how much it means to me that you terminated there. Thank you, 7. The concept of... Alright, well, that's not good. There's only one more treasure map piece to go. And we'll get it in the final story, Kick 'em Out. Alright, so, the Black Sugar Pirates didn't even get to their own fortress this time. They got nowhere near, they didn't bother leaving. They just figured they'd fortify Wario's castle, and see if they could tough it out, but no! He's immortal. What did you think was gonna happen? Did they just not know about Wario's immortality? Did Syrup miss that part of the wish? I don't know. What I do know is... this is a pretty short and actually pretty simple stage. It bears mentioning that you don't need to beat the game to get any of the optional paths. Any of the side paths are completely obtainable on a first run. Now, that being said, not a lot of people are going to find Chapter 2 Invade Wario Castle that easily, because theoretically, you would probably think to immediately press the buttons. And if you didn't think to immediately press the buttons, you'd probably wait a few seconds and go, huh, that's weird, nothing's happening, and then try something, and then you would get up anyway. So, I did not edit the beginning of this video. That really is how fast Wario wakes up after you have beaten the game at least once. If you do that, then it is almost immediate, the activation for this chapter, which is very handy. But if you do want to access this chapter early, you can stand around for longer. It takes like a full-on minute or so for Wario to actually get kicked out. On a fresh file. Now that being said, I said it's, pretty likely that you would at some point press a button, but it's not impossible for that to happen. And look, I've done plenty of dumb things as a kid. I probably could see myself just not pressing anything and being kinda confused for a bit. And wondering why it says stage clear when I'm there for, like, a whole minute, and it says I beat something even though I didn't do anything. So yeah, you probably won't know to access this chapter at the start of the game. But it's not impossible for that to happen. And for that reason, I feel like Invade Wario Castle is one of the easier final levels. There is definitely some difficulty here. There's definitely some tricky jumps, some kinda tricky puzzles, because, this is only Chapter 2, and again, in theory, you could accidentally wind up here, so I feel like they didn't want to make it too difficult. I feel like there's a little bit of leeway here, in case you did accidentally access this chapter, but at the same time, I feel like it is not, there is difficulty to it, and I think that's because even if you do accidentally access this chapter, you could theoretically just start a new game, and you wouldn't really be missing much progress, and that'd be fine. So I think that's the reason this chapter does have some bite to it. But yeah, for the most part, I think it's easier than a lot of the other special stages or special paths or whatever. Top right? I'm just gonna keep going top right. Are you top right? Nope. And I keep missing it because I'm only looking at the top right. I'm focused on it. I don't know what the fuck that is. That's either the front of a train or a really weird face. Anyway though, oh god, I should not be dooming the world just because I think getting all those coins would be tedious, but here I am anyway. Look, it's the devs' fault for putting some coins in redundant spots, challenging you to go out of your way to just get extra coins, even though there's no, extra interesting bit of level to do it. It's just, you go back up to the top of the machine, you try again, and that's it. Alright, so let's see. This must be where we get kicked out of the boss too. Which means we're close to the boss. And because we're close to the boss, there's actually not that many treasure rooms left to go. I mean, theoretically we could go to a really long string of rooms, but we don't. We do, however, get hassled by a spearman. Get out of here. Jeez, another silver coin. How am I getting so many of these? Is there a hidden luck stat? Is this like, shiny Pokemon? The more of those you get, the more likely it is you are to find these. Probably not, but I can think of no other explanation. Alright, I don't think there are any actual rooms connected to this bottom area here, so... we are actually almost to the boss. Alright, so it's actually really easy to get back here if you fail the boss. Which is good because, in theory, you can't actually get tossed out really quickly. It's both an easy fight, but an also easy fight to mess up on. But if you do mess up, you really aren't punished for it, and I appreciate that. Like, they don't punish you too harshly, just because you had to learn the way this guy moves. It's just, if you get tossed up, you come back down. Easy enough. No big deal. But yeah, otherwise it's just a matter of waiting for this robot to tire out, and when Syrup tries to charge him up, then you just smack him. He is guarding his only weak points. But of course, he'll always be facing left when he gets recharged. And... one more hit and he's done! However, Syrup can revive him at this point, if you take too long or you get hit. So, don't let that happen. All you need to do otherwise is throw the robot up to Syrup once, and you've won! He was a very heavy lad, so... that explains why Syrup got taken out, and in terms of her contraptions, this one wasn't really as well made. It was just there to control the big robot, and that's it. Alright, please be anything but an 8 or a 0, please. Could be an 8 or a 0, could be an 8 or a 0. That, however, has to be a 2. You can tell by the way, it is shaped. Alright, well, that completes the map. Something shines in the cave over there. Wario knows the location of whatever that is. Could it perhaps be the Syrup's treasure? Wario proclaims victory over Captain Syrup herself, and just refers to what remains she has left, what little money she has as the Syrup's treasure. Doesn't even regard her anymore. I mean, not once has she managed to pull one over on Wario. Truly, there is nothing left to stop him. The emblem falls off, and Wario goes back to sleep. He dreams a dream once more, but I fear there's nothing I can do to stop him. All I need to do was become unsynced once, and even now, even though we've warped back to the start of the game, where I should have some control over him, I don't. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where he could possibly go from here. He's destroyed so many timelines, he's killed so many people. What else is there? I guess there's the Syrup's treasure. I guess that's it. But surely that won't be the end of Wario's greed, though. Because even if that's all of Syrup's treasure, there's so much left in the world. So many worlds left for him to pilfer. Well, I don't know what's gonna happen from here, but... I guess there's one more thing left to do. We've gone through all of the side-branching pathways of the main story. Well, we haven't. Not even I have. Many others have done that, and I'm just picking up the pieces. I guess maybe you'll see us one more time for the finale of Wario Land 2. Or Maybe all these recordings are just going out to dead air, I don't know. If you're watching this right now, congratulations. I'm glad you survived at least. Until we can get to that point though, all I can do is just keep recording these. Wario played me like a damn fiddle, but I guess there's nothing else I can do but finish the show then. Goodbye, everyone.